show 7 o'clock. I call this meeting of the General Government and Public Safety Committee to order. If you'd rise with me and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next on the agenda is comments from citizens. All right, if you would, since we're recording this, if you would come up to the microphone and state your name and your address for the record.
Okay.
How do we test it as the microphone on?
That should
Testing.
We'll just
Hello?
we'll just speak loudly then.
Okay. My name is Carol Sharp. I live at 915 Mystic Drive, which is Ward 1. That is the fairly new neighborhood by the rec center. This is my neighbor, Bev Moffitt. She lives 2 doors down. She lives at 923 Mystic Drive. I'm here today. The reason I'm here is to talk about the cat problem. I know it's not the first time that it's been discussed. I'm new to Centralia. I've been here about 16 months. In the spring, I started planting trees in my backyard. And there's a fairly large population of feral cats that my backyard is their central highway. They are now using my trees as scratching posts. And they're not yellow trees. They poop in my landscape. My dog eats it and then throws it. The other thing is that my dog's just a little 10-pound dog. Some of these cats are very, very big. He's on a collar where he only has a certain range. These cats are so smart that they stay out of his range. Yeah, and he barks incessantly, which isn't really fair to my neighbors, although they never complain. I have talked to Sandy at the police department. She has come out and left a trap in my backyard for 3 weeks. They've caught a total of 3, I believe, maybe 4. 2 of them have notched ears that belong to the colony that is fed just behind my house. One of them was trapped at Bev's house, one was trapped at my house, another one was trapped at my house that did not have a notched ear. Was that you that came out? What is your name? Pardon me?
Officer Stone?
Okay, when Officer Stone came out, there was something in the trap, so he came out, he shined his flashlight, there was one in the trap and 2 sitting outside the trap. One of them is the one we call Big Sandy. It's a sandy colored cat. It's very smart. I'm here to kind of talk about how to fix the problem. It's come to my attention that this colony of cats belongs to a young lady in town. Am I right, Connie Kelly?
I wouldn't necessarily say it belongs to her, but she kind of has adopted.
She feeds them.
Yeah, certainly feeds them.
Yeah.
And she shelters them, that is harboring.
Yes.
So she is the owner. They are defecating in my yard.
Have you talked to Connie?
No, I was asked not to. That I was advised that that would be a bad idea.
Okay.
She's a very friendly lady. She always waves. She yells feed. I live here and there's an empty lot. She lives here, but she feeds them down here in a lot, like a right. Right. So my yard is the highway. And everybody knows when she yells feed, all the cats come running.
Out of curiosity, how many cats are there?
I have counted 8 sitting over there, which is in violation of the ordinance. You can only have 4. There's also an ordinance for the defecating in the yard, destruction of property. I am not a cat hater, okay? I am a person who loves to do landscaping. I cannot send my dog out on a leash, on that, satellite
Invisible
leash,
fence,
and be in my yard. I can't do it anymore. I'm either cleaning up somebody's cat poop, or I'm buying tree guards to protect my trees. Now I have to buy the sap, and I'll be lucky if the tree's lit. The other thing, I wanted to show you some pictures. This is what's happening to my trees, and pictures of the cats. They're very feral. They are not tameable. It makes them wild. This would be no different than a deer problem, a raccoon problem, a possum problem. I've been to the police department. Sandy has tried to trap the other ones. They're too smart for that. I'm asking that the city council take the next step. In the ordinance, it says that they be euthanized. I did ask the police department, go ahead.
What is Sandy dealing with them?
Sandy, I do know that two of her cats have been caught, and she had to pay a summons. Then she has to take it to a vet, have it rabies, and then licensed.
The
But
ones that had last year, I thought already had that done, had been spayed or neutered.
they haven't had the rabies shot.
They have had the rabies shots.
She has to prove that they've had their shot, and she has to prove it every year. Yeah. When I took my dog to the vet, he kept throwing up a bunch, and I told my vet that he eats cat poop, and she didn't like that at all. And I said, because of rabies, and she goes, no, your dog's in no harm of rabies, but those cats carry some serious parasites. So, that kind of thing. Like I said, I'm not a cat hater. I'd like to be in my backyard in peace. And just this morning, it's almost impossible to get a picture of them because they're so wild. I did the best I could with what I had.
Sure.
It is a serious problem. I've been as patient as I can be. I've tried to protect my dog. I've tried to protect my cat, or my trees from the cats. I put the guards on them. It's an every day, every night. You guys could come to my house, and you're very welcome to come. Come sit in a lawn chair about 6 a.m. and watch them. Or you can come at 9:30 p.m. I can set my watch by them. Yeah.
Are those the times she's feeding, or is that's just sort of their routine?
They're night cats, so they come out at 9:30 and they're still sticking around about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then they disappear. I did want to leave this, maybe if you wanted to put it in your minutes, it's exactly what I just said. But the next step, I believe in the ordinance, is to, if they can't be trapped, they can be shot and killed, or a more humane way would be to dart them, take them to the Humane Society. Maybe there's a farmer that lives way out of town that wants them to be mousers out there. But if not, they need to go away. So, this is not the first time you guys heard this, correct?
Oh, no.
No.
No. I
It's
remember
been
one
about
night,
a year
the
and a
whole
half or
thing was
so.
full.
Was it a year and a half or so?
About a year.
Yeah.
Well, this is the first time someone specifically brought property damage up.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'll be lucky if that tree lives.
What kind of tree is it?
It's an elm.
Elm?
Paid $90 for it. Paid $5 for the guards that go around the tree. I'm kind of asking that the city council maybe discuss it. I don't know where it goes from here, but that you do something immediately, because I only have 4 trees.
Yeah.
It needs to be a discussion point. I mean, that we wouldn't, as part of this meeting, be passing ordinance, but we certainly would discuss it. You can get thoughts.
Yeah.
Our current ordinance says 4 cats.
Yeah. And she got,
And that makes sense, I mean, unless we could change it to 3 or 2.
yeah.
It's any combination
can't-
of dog or cat,
Is it any
Yeah.
combination?
but not to
full
exceed
pets.
4.
Full pets.
And I think she has a dog.
Mhm.
I mean, to me, it seems it would be fair to her to let her make the decision which ones is she going to keep and which ones need to go.
And part of the problem is the definition of keeping, because none of them are,
No.
is on her property.
She's not sheltering or feeding them on her property.
Right.
She has permission from the farmer.
To feed
Well,
on his
and that's, I guess that was her arrangement, but if I'm remembering, you guys, when we had this discussion one other time, and when she made that presentation as to how she was going to maintain the population of the herd, so to speak,
Colony is what she called
colony,
it.
by spading and neutering all those.
Right.
Would you say the colony is of a level population, or is it going up?
I don't know, because I know what I see in that sheltered area. And I've seen 6, and then you can see 2 other strays in different directions. But I don't know which ones are notched ears and which are not.
So the notched ears, the ones with notched ears have been spayed or neutered already?
The ones with notched ears belong to her. That's what I've been told, I don't know that for sure.
Okay.
Well, I think that's what they do to mark them after they're supposedly been spayed or neutered.
Okay,
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Theoretically, what she has told us is that, and I don't know much about cats, is that there's gonna be a certain number of cats around regardless, and if you get rid of them, there's just more going to come in. So that if you
So
spay
it's
and
still a
neuter,
problem.
if you spay and neuter them, at least they don't
Multiply.
multiply.
right.
Uh,
What she's
however-
doing is commendable, okay?
Right,
But it doesn't solve the city's problem, and it definitely doesn't solve mine.
right,
No.
And feral means wild.
yes.
It's no different than having deer destroy my property or raccoons. I mean, what would you guys do if it was a family of raccoons? When we go out and shoot them?
They trap them there.
Yeah.
What if they're too smart to be trapped?
Yeah.
It's no different. They're
Well, and
wild.
actually, they wouldn't be too smart to be trapped if they were hungry.
But they're not, because
That's
she's
the
feeding
problem.
them. It is commendable what she is doing, but it's not solving any problems as far as living in the city and following the rules.
Right.
Do any of you guys remember if there was a problem with wild cats in the south part of the town before she started this program?
Now, there's some cats around town, I don't know how many, there are other people that are federal, or other feral cats, that, they didn't own the cats. But it's not, my guess is they sort of gravitate towards down there because she feeds them.
Right.
Well, no doubt.
And I'm not picking on Connie by any means. I am picking on the cats. Let's be clear about that.
Right.
We'll look at whether our ordinances as they're now written can address the situation, and if we need to make a modification or what we can do within the ordinance now. And I'll talk.
What do I do? Do I come next Monday? Does somebody call me? What happens?
We've talked, I have your number. If we have an ordinance, I don't think we'll have an ordinance prepared by the next meeting.
No.
I can't imagine that happening.
An ordinance prepared?
An ordinance.
A decision?
A law, to pass a sort of municipal law, as it were. But,
So a change to the actual ordinance itself.
Yeah, I'm not asking for a change.
yeah, I don't.
I'm asking you to act on what you already have.
Right. So we'll look at some options for enforcement, and I'll get back to you within a week.
Okay.
And so,
Well, I appreciate your time.
and we have been trying to trap the ones that are out.
Yes, and Sandy, bless her heart, works her little tail off. But they are too smart.
I'm amazed at the amount of damage to the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is I don't have much to do, and that is my favorite thing to do. And I can't do it anymore, so I'm done with cats. Really done. So, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
As a chief of police, I am sympathetic to the problem. We have rules, and I know all of you are too. I'm just telling you where I'm at. I wouldn't tolerate that very long.
And we have the type of dart.
We do. Now, some would tell you around my place that I say, oh, I can lay my hands on it, which is to say I put it up and now someone has moved it, which means I can't find it. And I believe that we do have that. I think since I've been chief here, we purchased one of those dart guns. I believe it. Now, or we talked about this before and we stumbled into one. I guess all the point to this is this. We're gonna try to be as aggressive as the law allows. I think that's our duty.
Yes.
Not only
And
as
the
a
law
police
does
department.
state, that they can be euthanized.
Not only as a police department, but I think that's our duty. I think that's our duty as city government. We're gonna shoot our best stick at tending to this. Okay?
I appreciate it.
Thank you very kindly.
You guys want to keep those?
And I think that kind of enforcement makes sense. And the first step is the tracking. The next step, when we just starts escalating it. But that makes sense, though.
Yeah, I tried to do everything I was
Sure,
supposed to, but it's getting worse, it's not getting better.
Well, and I think that there's nothing wrong with asking for some cooperation out of the lady who's feeding them by asking her to feed her cats in her yard for a window of opportunity for us to trap the ones that are not hers. Because if the cats that do not belong to her are hungry, they won't be selective with whether they want to get in that trap or not.
If you do that, she's still out of compliance. Because she owns more than 4 animals.
But it also, that.
Might
Then that's a
alleviate the
different-
problem between those cats and the others.
Right.
But they're all stray cats.
I mean, her claim is that she doesn't own them, that she just feeds them.
Okay, if she doesn't own them, then the city is out of ordinance. You're out of compliance with your own ordinance.
So we need to put a stop for her feeding them on that. Would be the big thing.
I don't know how you'd,
No, you gotta put a stop to the cats.
I don't know how we stop her feeding them.
What time does she feed?
It varies. She works different hours, I think.
What if we just
It's
clean it up?
usually at night.
Today she was out during the daytime.
We'd have to have a reason to go onto the farmer's property.
Well, it's actually city property. She feeds it on the manhole cover of the city's property. Cause I drove by.
The little shelters are actually inside the fence.
Yeah.
Oh, are they?
And
Yeah,
she
the ones I
has,
saw.
somebody told me she has permission from the farmer.
Andrew Stanton.
There's even a little box. You'd see something they could sleep in during the winter. It's raised off the ground. It's what they keep sled dogs.
Well, because I think everybody on the council said, this isn't falling on deaf ears. We're going to continue to attack the best way we know how.
I appreciate that.
And try to be humane and all that stuff has to not draw attention to
Right.
business. So, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
welcome to stick around and listen to very important matters.
I've said it plenty of.
We've got a great lineup.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like it.
Thank you again.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Ben.
I have to ask, any other comments from citizens? With that being said, moving on to public safety, city prosecutor.
I emailed April,
Mhm.
and she was gonna plan on being here in September, the September board meeting. However, we're gonna be discussing that meeting later on, so that might change. That might change again.
Police department. Got an activity report in your packet. Any questions?
Besides the normal yin and yang that you see in front of you. Bellamy's off on another 2 or 3 week
Military expedition.
expedition. So we are working our part-time officers at the high rate of speed. So I want to say thank you also to David for the computer work that he still continues to do for us. I don't know how we pay the bills if he didn't. We're gonna try to get that new computer in dispatch, get it up and running, and then with the new server, all that work he did on the new server, holy moly, it's unbelievable. So, thank you, David, on behalf of the police department and
Most welcome.
so, also, I want to say thank you to the electric department. Came over and changed the ballast in those light fixtures. Now, I told you the totality of what I know about it. What I know is that they did that work. The place is twice as bright as I can ever remember it. And he said that electric boys claimed that probably saved half on the electric bill, just the police department alone. So I said, one. So that's very nice on their part to come in.
Thank you.
Anything else for the police department? Moving on to the fire department. There's an activity report in your packet.
We got our tool should be, that you all approved, should be, I'd say, first of next week should be arriving somewhere, when you told me so.
You demo it for us all?
On your car.
Oh, there you go, yeah. Well, look at the time.
I'm willing to watch them demo it out here.
Go.
You will train with it out probably by the pound or something, won't you? Or will you do it?
Yes. We might be able to do it on the apron up there, when we sweep it up. If you get a car with glass out of it,
Yeah.
it's the winter, you know.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
That glass goes everywhere, you know.
Sure.
It's your chance of demolition third.
Yeah, there was one still out there the other day, but almost gone.
Perfect. There's a place and a car.
Very nice.
Other than that, we're good to go still.
Anything else for fire department?
So you got some training in, not the, there's the, I had the report in front of me twice. With the helicopter procedures for
Yeah, they have a new, there's a new helicopter in the area, it stays out of Mulberry. it'll be, talking to, Chief Lee for Boone County. They'll probably use, if we were to call for a helicopter, that one there would probably be the one. I guess the staff life helicopter is being used quite a bit. I mean, everybody calls for a helicopter anymore. So yeah, we met with them guys and went through their protocol, how they want us to react with them and this and that. But yeah, they're stationed out of Bolton. Airback, I believe. And I think it's one of the kind where you people can pay like a membership, you know, if, say you had to have a heart transplant, your heart's ready, they got to come and get you, and take you, so.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And then also, I just got, probably in this month coming up, I even though it's a little quick, I am gonna see about ordering them Santa suits we had in the budget for, I didn't really think about Christmas on 4 months away. I'm just telling you, it is.
That's quick.
Don't be doing that anymore.
No kidding.
It seemed like
yesterday.
Yeah.
Time's flying.
I think we got like 4 or 5 budgets, so we've had these for a little bit of 25 years or so. Third decade.
See you there, Dave.
Third
That is
decade.
cute.
At least the laptop went out of it.
Yeah, you got a new computer.
Yeah, we did, I mean, we got the electric department's
Yeah.
computer.
Newer.
Hand me down.
We got
Newish.
hand me down, we don't care. And I think Roger's got it up and running all right, so.
You'll be looking for a computer running Windows 98, I think.
It's only 1,600.
Wow.
Still got the bag full in
Try and get the most of use out of our electronic equipment possible.
And we did get a new printer also, a fax machine. What do you think of that?
How can I get anything? That's legal.
It's how it works. That wasn't even a hand me down. That was a new one.
All right, emergency management.
I didn't have anything. I mean, you passed the resolution, put me on that,
Rewrite committee.
yeah, rewrite committee, and Ed Sigmund is aware of that. So,
Excellent, excellent. And protective inspection.
I don't really have, any- we've, continued to get more, applications for, houses and commercial. We had like there's 3 reviews for the fire marshal to look at, two churches and then the expansion of Alberts, so they're continuing to build a lot in, Centralia. So that's very good news.
We're moving on to general government and finance. Economic development, Freddie Gordon. Jay.
Nothing too new to report. Matt and I have got together and done some training on the e-Civis grant program, so I really hope to put that to use, as we haven't really done much with that in recent history. The other thing was today, actually, we did a tour for 15 of the new teachers at the school district. Actually, one of which has already bought a home, the big blue home on Jefferson. So we hope at some point that the rest of them will decide to join us. Matt joined us, and as well as Dan Berry of the Fireside Guard. So Forrest loaned us a couple of brand new, nice looking cars, and we drove the folks around to just about every site in Centralia. So that was a really cool. That's our Live Centralia tour.
Very good.
So that was a really good deal.
Our you avoided certain areas.
We had a pretty specific route. We weren't just cruising around.
Randomly just. Any questions for Gabe?
Thank you, Gabe.
Moving on to park board.
We had the agenda, I did not see the minutes.
They meet tomorrow.
But do we have the ones from last month?
Sometimes we get them, sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they met a week early last month.
Yeah.
I think we might have had them
We
last.
might have had them last month.
Mhm.
Okay. Another new minute, so you're gonna have to go a month without a set of minutes from the park board. Okay.
Oh, well.
I don't know if we can live with that.
Exactly.
I'm okay with that. But they meet after that.
Well, moving on.
Moving
Cemetery report.
on. Not much we're continuing to try and work with, Midland GIS to get the, and Mike Forsey and, Ethan at Midland are working with, particularly with, Phyllis, thank you. I had it right. On making sure that we have a name in the GIS system in the right place for each person. There is a row, there's a little bit of an issue with the rows not lining up on the GIS map with the physical map, and they're trying to rectify that. So I don't think I think all the names are right, but I just don't think we've caught them quite overlapped. And other than that, we've had a number of, it's been a pretty busy time for Phyllis with burials too, so that's kind of kept that for whatever reason. It's just been a busy season. And then, yeah, I guess that's it. That's something just sort of put in the back of your mind for the winter is this is the third year of the contract for the company who is doing the mowing, Hardesty is doing the mowing of cemeteries, and we may decide if we want to bid that out, extend the contract, that sort of thing. There may be some options for bidding.
It got hardly been that one.
12, 13, 14.
Mm-hmm.
Tree board.
Right. Do you have anything? You?
No.
Okay.
There's been no tree board meeting.
Okay.
Trees going on.
Library board just noticed in the meeting. The agenda, your packet.
Last month's meeting.
They meet tomorrow also.
And moving on to July financial statements.
They're in your packet. To note that through July, the sales tax was doing nicely compared to last year, although the most recent month wasn't quite as cheery. So we'll see how that all settles out. But other than that, everything looks. We're a little behind on electric grocery receipts, but it's been a very mild. So those are the things that I noted. Do you guys have any comments, questions?
I'm guessing our electric fund is not going to be less this year because we filed summer.
Yeah, it also cuts down on our costs some, but yeah, it's mostly, property tax. I guess Lynn was telling you last meeting that we may see a little bit of a bump in property tax.
Now, should we do that next month, or next week?
We'll be setting the rate we're having the hearing set the rate next meeting, next week. That's been advertised, but,
Yeah, that was in the
but that does look like that saw a little bit of, looks like next year will be a little bit more. I don't know if it's enough to make up for the loss in electric, but.
Any other questions on the financials? Moving on to bills over $1,250.
You have a list of the bills in your packet totaling $282,937.99. All pretty much standard. Landfill charges are a little, they have a robust month at the landfill, I guess, but not out way out of line. I think everything else is pretty much. They've got the final bill on the audit. We're going to work with them this year to see if there's to implement the things that they asked. It's very minor changes. The biggest one would be if we look at, we could save sometimes in some places if we look at doing some renumbering in the budget. And there are different ways we could do that. And the idea would be to try and make that as seamless as possible. But the way they're set up, it makes it hard to do. Williams Keepers described that when they were here. It just makes the system set up 30 plus years ago in this software makes some things a little difficult on the staff and the accountants. So I guess we'll need a motion to approve those bills.
Oh, we wouldn't do it. Just
On that. Next week.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
It's all right.
we will, but not tonight.
See that look you gave to us? Thank you.
He was right, he
Teresa.
said we need a motion to approve the bills, he just was waiting.
Yeah, keep preparing.
Yeah, he was just right.
Eventually.
Moving on to other general government.
Yeah.
Anything for other? Any guys may rise.
The 15th of September, actually 14, 15, 16, 17 is the MML conference. The 15th is a board meeting, and some of us will be out for the conference. You will go to the conference this year?
No,
No?
no, I'll be busy with that,
Okay.
with Jim over here.
Okay.
I suspect.
Are you going to the conference? Seriously?
Who's that?
14,
Yes or
15.
no?
What's
I got
the
it
difference?
set up 14th through the 17th is the conference.
I will have just gotten back from Hawaii, so
Outstanding.
I doubt that I should
Okay.
will be able to take off the extra time to.
Okay.
Seriously.
I
You
would
gotta
have
get
said
the proper
Thursday.
You know if,
My grandma's.
Ward or Laura?
I haven't heard.
Heather needs to know as soon as possible, she's gonna make the reservations and all that stuff.
Something somewhere in the calendar or something.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But it's a very good learning experience if you haven't been to the conference before.
I'll go next week.
A lot of information passed.
Bronx.
I go to most of them.
All right.
But I ended up having to hang out with It will be Tim and I, and then I'll
Yeah.
have to try to win us both.
Oh, yeah,
They're everywhere.
yeah.
Exactly.
But depending on how many people we're gonna go, we're discussing whether to push the meeting back or not. It doesn't look like too many people's gonna be gone, so.
And if it wasn't for the battlefield,
Right.
avoiding the Fulton people would be another good reason not to go.
I'll be there next year too.
Yeah, I'm settled down about it.
Okay.
You met Bill?
But anyway, yeah. I think that was it.
So, I mean, what's the pleasure of the board? I mean,
In past years, we just continue with,
Go ahead.
just continue with the meeting as it was, and we just ran with a short group.
Yeah, it is.
Feel free to call in though.
Oh.
We'll be more than
Yeah,
happy to have the
definitely.
speakerphone available.
I would do it from your motel room,
Exactly.
not
I
from,
will be
not
on-
from the dinner.
I will be on the road.
Okay.
That Monday, I have other obligations in Jeff City, so I won't be getting to the conference till late Monday evening.
Okay. Well,
So.
as long as you don't do it from one of the meals. That would be in some slack.
Okay. All right, that's all I have for Asbury Rise.
Any other estimates?